Today we have boiler that runs the residential location, uh, Wheel McLean. And for you boiler people, I'm sorry if I'm butchering anything here or speaking. If I'm speaking incorrectly, absolutely correct me in the comments, please. But just want to share with you what's going on. This was installed in 2017. Actually, after its predecessor was installed, the exact same thing in 2011. Kind of a basically incompetence by a plumber caused I guess the boiler to crack. It was under warranty, thankfully. The plumber had nothing to do with the heating and oil company that actually installed this, so that was fun. Anyway, so that was replaced in 2017 with the exact same unit, which everyone I talk to, even technicians who come and work on this, they're like, I love this machine. This is my favorite kind of thing. So I just don't know really anything about these. And other than what I hear from comments that when this gets serviced periodically once a year. So the reason why I'm doing this video is, speaking of service, it just, there was a complaint that the showers were not getting hot at all. So had a really super knowledgeable technician just come by. He probably spent 15-20 minutes here. Mainly he was geeking out on this because he was just so excited to talk to me about it and what was going on. So maybe more for the layman's this video is, but at the same time, I am not a boiler technician, so don't take my advice. But maybe if anything, it will point you in the right direction. So what has happened, as I'm tripping over things, he said this valve got stuck. And he had me go up and turn the shower on, blast it as hot as I could. Heard the boiler come on, and who knows, maybe it'll come on and be noisy during this video. But what he said is periodically this will get stuck, and he basically just turned it and it was fine. So he said to me, he actually drew that little line there. And he said periodically, and he drew a line on the pipe, he said periodically it may get stuck. And it's not a question of replacing it. He's like, but if this happens again, just turn it all the way one way, turn it all the way back the other way, but just make sure that this aligns kind of where you had it. And it should be okay, at least until you can get someone to really look at it. He also explained that if you can slightly turn it, and he did also explain if you slightly turn it, it usually makes a big deal by 15 degrees. Interesting, right? He had this open. First time I've seen this open. I'm sure it's been open many a times by the technician, and it's all the digital temperature in there. He said, absolutely do not touch this. Do not take this cover off. Do not touch it, or you can wreck the whole machine. And I think that's what happened when a plumber tried to play boiler expert and popped it open and just like, I just turned up your temperature, you're fine. When really that was not the solution in that case back in 2017. He also explained the hot and cold lines. And he explained you don't want to necessarily let as much hot in as cold because you will use up all your hot water faster, but rather you kind of want to mix it so you can take longer hot showers. I did not know that. And he said, if it's too much or too little, you could adjust that on the hot side and the cold is open. Lastly, he told me to keep an eye on the pressure. He said it should be hanging at like 20 psi, and he even drew a little marker on there. Like he's like, don't let it really go too much above that, below that. And he said I guess that's the blowback valve, hits at 35. He's like, do not set it at 30, keep it at 20, somewhere in there. And he did say it was a little low, so he made a little adjustment on this guy over here, and we watched the pressure come up. So in all the years I've had technicians come here and do service, this guy was super into his job. Younger guy, probably early 30s. That seems young to me. Really into his job. and was eager to show me, and instead of like having to call and send somebody out and they charge you. And I think that's just great customer service. Now, um, like 6 months from now, a year from now, if we have the same issues, will I remember what he said? Actually, if I go back and watch this video, it's probably a good idea I made the video. I can recall, but at least I have an idea of where to start and where to look. I never even really looked at these gauges before. I knew they were there, and I just always thought this thing looked substantial. Didn't look like a piece of junk. Of course, what I paid for it when I did, so it shouldn't be a piece of junk. So you'll see there's actually like this pad here. This was from when it leaked before it was like, so I don't know, something happened, and it just needed, I don't know if it was a valve or whatever, and the floor was just getting a little wet. One of these was just dripping. So this was years ago at this point, and this pad has been here ever since, because a guy saw we used to have cats, and these are like a piddle pad or whatever you want to call it. So he took one, he's like, just shove it under here, and he's like, if you see anything on there, call us. And it's been dry for years, and it's kind of like a jinx, right? I pull it out, and the floor, it starts leaking. But really, been happy with this. It is tankless, which is good and it's bad. And again, I am not an expert, so I couldn't sit here and rattle off, do a video on 5 reasons it's good, 5 reasons it's bad. But I should imagine if you had a tank, and sometimes they talk about it, you can mount it like right here where that chair is and the Christmas tree. Mount it right there, and then you have more of a supply of hot water, and allegedly it's more efficient. 2 years ago, I finally replaced the oil tank. It's behind the storm glass, which has to go in. You can see where the rotted out lawnmower is. Whole nother video, whole nother topic. That's where the old school tank, one of those big black ones, this house was built in 78. That's when it was from, 78. Was sitting there and was great. This one here, I guess, size-wise, capacity-wise, it's the same, I should imagine, but because it's squared off, it kind of tucks in that corner, which is just great because it gives us a little more room. Yeah, we will tell you about the history of Rust Bucket, which is the name of this rusted out shell, and where the rest of it lives on today. Again, different day, different topic. So here we go. If anyone has anything they could add to what I said, or call me a complete moron. You can call me a complete moron anyway, but in terms of what I was talking about, if I was totally wrong or misspoke, happy to hear what I did. I'm always trying to learn, even if it's just enough to know what's going on, not necessarily to fix it in this case. So in this case, I know what's going on now. And would I attempt messing with this? Probably. Maybe the PSI stuff, but beyond that, and also he told me don't touch anything beyond that. All right, so great customer service experience. Thank you to the technician that was here. I hope, if I have to see you, if someone has to come again, I hope it's you. And to anyone else out there who has a boiler like this, or this brand boiler, I'd like to hear about it. And maybe you can tell me something about mine. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.